I have such a fun series of videos to share with you. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to show you how to do exactly one thing in QuickBooks Online and one thing only. Okay, maybe like one or two things, but these videos are intended to be short and sweet and simple and quick and to the point. Get in, get out, get your business done, and move on in life. Hi, my name is Adrena. I am the owner and accountant here at Accounting by Adrena. And bonus, I am also a QuickBooks Certified ProAdvisor. So in this particular video, I'm going to show you exactly how to enter a check and an expense. I'm going to show you a couple of different ways, but it's going to be really simple, straight to the point. So after this video, if you are still feeling a little bit hesitant or questioning, have no fear. I am here. I am happy to help. You can even hire me to be your accountant for a day. Accountant for a day is a service that I offer on my website, and I'll go ahead and add information below. But it's basically essential for the online service-based entrepreneur who makes up to $50,000 per year. Maybe they're not ready to hire a bookkeeper quite yet, but they are looking to scale. So after you secure your spot on my calendar, then you will provide me with your information. So it's either going to be a 12-month analysis of a bank account or a 12-month analysis of your budget expense spreadsheet. And you'll send that over to me through a secure Dropbox link, along with a cash flow budget forecast analysis that I provide to you on your particular day. This will also help you and kind of inform you on what you need to be paying as far as your quarterly estimated taxes are concerned. Hiring me as your accountant for a day takes about an hour of your time. And if you have any questions, I'm going to go ahead and put some more information in the description box below. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to comment on this video and let me know your questions. And let's just jump right into the QuickBooks Online test drive version. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to go ahead and use the test drive link for QuickBooks. You can do that by searching QBO test drive, and then you'll see the link here, qbo.intuit.com. And this test drive version is available for anyone, actually. So if you want to test something out, this is kind of like a sandbox that's available to you. So go ahead and click on this, and that way you don't have to necessarily test it in your own books and then make a mistake and then not know how to undo it, etc., etc. So go ahead and click on I'm Not a Robot and then continue, and then it'll open up a sandbox version of QuickBooks Online. This is going to be Craig's Design and Landscaping. And sometimes it just needs a minute to load. Okay, so there are a couple of ways on how you can enter an expense. Now, the easiest way is if you already have your accounts connected into QuickBooks through the banking feed, then you can go ahead and go to the banking feed and enter your expenses this way because it's already going to populate like this. So let's go ahead and take a look at one of these. So make sure that, I'm going to close this sidebar using that hamburger button. Make sure that when you do enter your expenses in QuickBooks that you always click on the transaction so that it expands the options for you. This way you can actually see what the bank detail is pulling in. So this is coming directly from the bank, and the information up here is actually QuickBooks trying to be smart and categorize it ahead of time. But if there's no AI already, in this, then it doesn't have any information, so it's going to automatically go to uncategorized expense. So we want to make sure that we enter it correctly from the onset. Now, if this vendor was already entered in QuickBooks previously, then it would have populated here on the vendor list. Obviously, it's not here, so let's go ahead and enter the vendor. Okay, so it's A1 Rental Backhoe. Now, I usually like to tab between fields, but you can go ahead and click this button that says Add A1 Rental Backhoe. And then the vendor screen kind of like pulls up. Make sure it says vendor as the type. Click on save. And then it looks like it's equipment rental. So I'm going to go ahead and type in equipment rental. And then you can see what type of like GL account it is right here. GL stands for General Ledger. So go ahead and click on that, and then this green button that says add, and that is probably the easiest way to enter expenses. Now let's say you had some transaction that was actually cash that needed to get entered as an expense. So you'd go ahead and click the new button on the top left, and under the vendors column, you'll click on expense. And maybe it was for that same vendor, so I'm going to go ahead and select that one there. And then make sure the payment account either says it's a petty cash account or cash account or whatever the case may be. In this case, there is no petty cash account, so I'm just going to go ahead and quickly add that here for our purposes. Okay, so it's automatically pulling in today's date, but let's say that you made this purchase back in May. So let's go ahead and enter May's date, and then obviously the payment method was cash. So the information that gets pulled into the category details is coming from previous information that QuickBooks already has. So if this looks good to you, all you need to do is click on Save and Close. However, I wouldn't guess that you have $1,200 in your petty cash account. Maybe you have more like $150. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and save and close, and boom, it's done. That expense is entered into QuickBooks, and now you can reconcile your bank accounts. Now, entering a check is very similar to how we entered the expense previously. So you'll go ahead and click on the new button and then click on check. And it's going to look very similarly to what we saw in the expense screen. So let's just say we're going to use that same vendor, and it is coming from the checking account because we're writing a check. And then let's say it was for June 15th. And then you always want to make sure that you double check that check number if it matches your check number ledger. So always have, these are like the fields that you always want to make sure: the payee, the bank account, the date, and the check number. And then no previous information was pulled in because we haven't written a check out to A1 yet. So let's go ahead and type in equipment rental. And then let's write the amount. Let's say it was $1,500. And then save and close. So I would say if you have any checks that are coming through the bank feed, the best practice is to enter it as a check here in this new button under vendors, check. And then when you see it come through, you would go ahead and match it similar to how this looks here. So previously there was a check 75 on 6/4 to Hicks Hardware for $228.75. So if the check that we entered matched something in the banking feed, then we would go ahead and just click on match. And those are just two ways on how you can enter expenses and enter checks into QuickBooks Online. And that's all I have for you guys today, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in my next video.